so badly so quickly. Let me ask you though, because you have, I know now, a court date in New York without a drag.
Yeah.
We expect a decision in Georgia sometime in August.
Another perfect phone call. You're not allowed to challenge an election. What they want to do is indict you if you challenge an election. She's a racist, and what she's doing is so bad. I don't know what she's going to do. I don't know how you do it. And the one thing I will say is interesting, even the Democrats are saying this is a terrible thing that's happening, because they weaponized, and they looked at the cases. The one in New York's not even a crime. They say there's not a crime. And yet they want to put you through it. And here's a guy that allows people to kill themselves, kill people all over the place. They kill people on the sidewalk and nothing happens to them. But if you do something not wrong, what I did was right. Actually, what I did was right. They want to indict you. A lot of it is called election interference because they want to interfere
The third issue is the special counsel that's appointed, and news broke yesterday that there might be a tape recording that, quote, where you acknowledge that you understood that these were classified documents. First of all, do you know who this call may be with? Do you know anything
I
about
don't
it?
know anything about it. All I know is this: everything I did was right. We have the Presidential Records Act, which I abided by 100%. Biden has 1,850 boxes with a lot of classified stuff that he's not supposed to have in his case. I have the right to declassify as president. He's got 1,850 boxes that he doesn't want anyone to see. He had 7 or 8 boxes in Chinatown, in Washington, D.C. Nobody even speaks English in Chinatown. Chinatown is it's in favor of China. And those boxes in Chinatown. They took those boxes and they sent them to Boston to his lawyer. So his lawyer can look through them and probably do things that you're not supposed to do. No, this is about election interference. And in fact, I have to tell you, there's a couple of very good guys wrote an article today. The Tobacco King, you know who the Tobacco King, he did a great job on the tobacco companies. They wrote an article today that this is a disgrace that they're even looking at this stuff. There was nothing done wrong, nothing whatsoever. Now look at the boxes with Biden, where they're in his garage, they're all over the floor, they're sitting under his Corvette with the grease and everything else. On a garage door that you could cut with a scissor, and no Secret Service. They have Secret Service all over the place. Mar-a-Lago was a fort. It's literally, she built that as the Southern White House. But when you look at it, and it's another, it's a continuation of the greatest witch hunt of all time. It's a hoax. And it has to be, you're trying to interfere with the election. And let me tell you, DOJ actually took, we talk about Bragg, the DA of New York, never thought I'd be dealing with a guy like this. We talk about Bragg. The DOJ in Washington put his top guy into the DA's office, which is local, which is city state, but they put the top guy in the Justice Department into that office to make sure Trump gets in trouble. Can you believe it? It's never ever happened before. And then Hillary Clinton's lawyer from, I guess it's Paul Weiss, left Paul Weiss to work in the prosecutor's office because he hates Trump and he wants to get Trump. And then nobody wanted to do anything because they said, Trump didn't do anything wrong. Including Bragg, originally said, Trump didn't do anything wrong. And then he prosecutes me for what he said was not wrong. But they took this guy, and they put him in there, and he left the firm, and he went in. It's a big, Pomerantz, Mark Pomerantz. And he left to become a prosecutor. He was a Democrat lawyer, and now he's trying to prosecute me. And then what happened is they wouldn't do what he wanted to do because it was too bad even for them. So this guy left and he writes a book during the process. They tell me what he did is criminal. They tell me. Now let's see what happens. But he's in a lot of trouble. So here's a prosecutor left and he wrote a book during the prosecution. But I've been going through this for 7 years. Russia, all of it. The Mueller report, which was no collusion. After 2.5 years, there was no collusion with Russia. I was the worst thing. People would say, they say you like me. He said, you are the worst guy that we've ever had to deal with. I'm the one that stopped the pipeline, the big pipeline going into the Nord Stream 2, nobody ever heard of it until I came along. I said, you're allowing Russia to build a pipeline through Europe. I stopped it. It was stopped dead. And then the election came about, and Biden came in. One of the first things he did was allow Russia to complete the pipeline. I had it stopped. And then they say, I'll tell you what, they're a party of disinformation. They'll say Trump was soft on Russia. I'm the hardest on Russia that there's ever been. The sanctions we did, everything else. The hardest on China by a factor. I took in hundreds of billions of dollars from China, and as I said, no other president ever took in 10 cents. And you know what? And President Xi respected the president, and he didn't want to have any more tariffs, and he didn't want to have any more sanctions, but he respected us, and now he doesn't respect. They don't even return phone calls.
Let me have a follow-up, because this is so unique in history, where you might be facing, you already went down to New York, and didn't you get a paper printed? And, okay, you're indicted. Now they're thinking about indicting you in Georgia.
Oh, well,
Then maybe the special counsel, they do some questioning.
over questioning an election in Georgia, which I think is corrupt.
So let me ask you,
Think of that.
how does this complicate your run for the presidency?
I don't think it does, because every time something happens, I go up in the polls.
Yeah! Woo!
You don't think people then begin to doubt you or worry or concern you?
To get through life, you have to be a little bit of a fatalist. And I really say, but these are vicious people. These are fascists, these are communists, these are Marxists, these are vicious people. I kid sometimes, they say, try and stay over the red states, because if I fly over a blue state, they indict you. I haven't heard that this would happen, but I complained about the election because I saw things that are terrible in Georgia. I complained. Now, instead of going after the people that cheated in the election, they go after the people that complain about the cheating in the election. So what happened, it's a little bit of a phenomenon, I must say, because usually when something like this happens, you announce your immediate retirement from politics. With me, as you know, I went up like 10 or 12 points with the last one, and I did the same thing, the boxes. Think of it, people are being killed all over the country. They're shooting Chicago. Can you imagine? 50 people shot this weekend, 12 died, and they go after boxes. But here's the problem with the boxes. Joe Biden has 1,850. He has more boxes than anybody. He has them all over the place. And a lot of classified stuff, and stuff classified when he was a senator, which is totally illegal. They don't go after him. You know, they have a nice guy looking at him. I have a guy that's a known Trump hater. His wife is a known Trump hater. These people hate me with a passion, and the reason they hate me is that I'm doing a good job. If I was because they get it, they see it, and it's really election interference. They're trying to demean you and embarrass you and do whatever they can so that you can't get elected. And for some reason, I don't know what they're doing, they're going to go crazy, but the numbers are going up because people understand it's a witch hunt. I've been going through it for 7 years. I had a really nice life. I didn't know what a prosecutor was. All of a sudden, I'm like an expert. When they talk about grand juries and subpoenas and all this, I didn't know anything about this. For a person to do well in politics and do a job, a lot of people said I was a great president with the energy and with all of the things we did. Some people said it was the best job, or the best 4-year job that they've ever seen. There's a little bit of an acting. When you're a president and you leave office, you're supposed to be treated with respect, especially since we have 75 million people, but I think the number is much higher than that. But we have 75 million people that voted, so
Straight ahead.
it's very unfair.
More with Donald Trump, and we're here from